First order of business. Jenny and I just had a really crazy busy week last week, which is why you did not see us live last week. So please forgive us as life just happened to us. And I realized, like right now, that I never made a post saying that we were not going to be live. Sometimes Source takes you on a path and you have to follow it, and it kind of create like we're just stuff happens. So that was Jenny and I last week. So please forgive us for not being here. And we're back.
We're back again. All right. Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Jasmine?
And today we are going to talk about Dharma and the Eightfold Path, which is very interesting to me. I think it's such like Jenny and I talk a lot about different religions and different spiritual beliefs, and I'm a firm believer in like being omniscient. Is that how you say it, right? Omniscient?
Omnist. Yeah.
And that I really believe everything is true. I believe that all paths are true. It's just different verbiage for different spaces and different people and what they need to hear. And because it all kind of points to the same place. And a lot, like the more I study energy and the more I study these different modalities, it's all the same thing. So it's fun to kind of dive into these different belief systems. And this one just happens to be really rooted in Buddhism.
Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, really, really beautiful.
I love it.
Karma, most people know what karma is. Karma is super easy. Like, as you reap, so shall you sow. What you put out, you get back. And I always tell my kids, karma's a bitch, only if you are.
But it's like true.
Right. People are like, oh, karma's a bitch. And I was like, well, only if you are. But Dharma is your life purpose, why you're here. And it's a lot of people can get really overwhelmed with this. You know, this is why I think there's a lot of religions out there. Why are we here? What is our purpose? What is the plan and our path to salvation? Mm-hmm. And Dharma makes it so beautiful because it's not like, this is your Dharma. You have to do this one thing. It's like this energy frequency that you get to hold, and your Dharma naturally unfolds for you as a natural evolution. And when I learned about this, when I started to really study into yoga and practicing and teaching yoga, I was just like, oh, this is so beautiful. And if everybody did this, oh my gosh, this world, we would not have the wars. We wouldn't have all of this stuff that's going, these school shootings and these poor, scary, sad things. It would literally be like the Garden of Eden. We would be living in paradise in the golden age. So listen up and start following your Dharma.
I think it's such an interesting thing because, like, even as you're saying that in that statement, it's like, I feel like we've been so programmed for the struggle and the suffering. And it is really hard to, I mean, I would be lying if I wasn't sitting here thinking that I just think it's impossible. But all we can do, we cannot think about changing everyone. A lot of people ask me, I feel like this question comes to me a lot. Well, doesn't the things that are happening in Ukraine stress you out? Doesn't the school shooting stress you out? Doesn't all these things stress you out? Honestly, no, because it's not in my community. Like, all I can do is I can touch the people who I can touch, and I can be where I can be, and I cannot be in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I can't know what that is because I'm not there. And I feel like we get this sense of deep knowing of a situation because we hear it on the news or we hear it anywhere else. And I don't feel that. I don't feel like I get a deep understanding of something unless I'm there, unless it's happening to me or around me in my vicinity or the vicinity of people who I know. There's not anything that I can personally do. all I can do is affect my space that I'm currently in. All I can do is do these lives. All I can do is help people understand where their blocks are and what's stopping them from following their dharma, what's stopping them from finding deeper understanding in the actions and the things that they're doing, even if it's someone who's done something bad in the past, like horribly bad, and they want to recover from that. And that's kind of where I think sometimes the dharma thing becomes so huge because we feel this deep burden that we have to, once we are awoke, we have to get everyone to live in the way that we live, and we have to do everything the way that and that's how wars start.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, when it's like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? They're looking for something outside of them to give them the clue, to give them the answer. And the Eightfold Path of Dharma is an inner work. I mean, I'm just going to list it out for you. So it is, it's right mindfulness or right. I don't like this one. I'm like, I don't have it all memorized yet, but I want to pull up right here.
No, I'm going to pull up. I'll throw it in the chat while you're talking.
Okay. So right understanding is the very first step in your dharmic path. Understanding who you are, where you come from, just understanding concepts, life, all of that stuff, having a really beautiful understanding. Then it's having right thoughts. Once you have an understanding, then you can start to think the thoughts that you want to think. Because we can control our thoughts to a degree. We can notice when we have a thought, we can go, oh, I'm going to dwell on this. This one feels really good. Or, oh my gosh, and I'm going to dwell on this. So having those right thoughts, really putting your understanding into those right thoughts. Then once you have those right thoughts, you then start to have right speech. You start to speak in a way that is understanding and is beautiful and powerful and positive, and sometimes it is laying down the law, but it's doing it in a way of like, hey, you've crossed my boundaries. What you're doing is not okay because it's affecting me, my family, my loved ones, other people, whatever. As long as it is coming from that place of love, not manipulation. I'm going to try and change you, but like, this needs to stop. But it comes from a place of love. The right speech. Or the right thoughts, then the right speech. And then there's right action. So we have an understanding. We start to have the thoughts that feel really good. We start to speak those good thoughts. And then we start to take the steps that feel good and aligned. Not from a place of should or could or have to, but this feels really good. I'm going to step in this direction. So it's not forcing or rushing. It's allowing the steps to just unfold, that one next step in front of you. It's all you can do.
Yeah.
And then it is right livelihood. So being in whatever you do for work, or even if you do not work outside of the home, you still do work. Being a mom did that for a very long time. Just being a mom, and I hated when people, oh, you're just a mom. And it's like, do you even know what that's like? But livelihood, making sure that it is in alignment, it's moral, it's ethical, it's helping not only the people around you, but it's also sustainable and good for the environment and our planet, because the planet is a sentient being and it's good for all sentient beings. Then there's right effort. So effort is different than work, right? A lot of people have like equated work and effort as the same. Like, oh, I got to put all this effort in. And effort is having the right effort is, okay, now that I know what I'm going to go do, am I going to just like go rush, push, and burn the candle at both ends and get overwhelmed? Or am I going to just sit back and be like, all right, world, just drop it in my lap and just not do anything? It's that finding that balance between when is the go energy and when is the surrender and wait energy. Knowing that right time to have that right effort. And then the seventh is right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is really being mindful of what you're thinking, what you're speaking, what you're doing, all of that, how you're efforting. Like even when you're feeling an emotion like anger or rage, like as long as you're just being mindful. So many people are unconscious and just raging, but it's like the other day I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad because this, and I'm just gonna be mad for a minute, and I'm just gonna like bang my drum and be mad. And I was mindful with it. I felt the emotion. I allowed myself to rage because I was mindful with it. And then the last one is right meditation, knowing what to focus on, what to have that single pointed concentration and effort on, and being mindful with it because you've had the thoughts, and then it just cycles over again. This is just a really beautiful cycle and path that isn't about like a destination. This is my dharma. I did it. Woo, done. It's an evolution. It's a being.
It's its own relationship. We talk so much about relationships and how you handle one relationship. And I think concentration is a beautiful way to end this list, and understanding is a beautiful way to begin this list, because if you don't have understanding, you're not going to get to concentration. If you don't have understanding that your relationship with money, or your relationship with your partner, or your relationship with your kids is causing your whole world to be a little out of whack, then you can't fix it. You can't be mindful with it. You can't start to find the right intent and the right speech and the right action to move forward, because it feels so like, I hate that this camera is not wide, but it feels so big. It feels so big for you. And if you can't concentrate and you can't understand, I don't feel like there has to be a right starting point. I do feel like understanding is really important. But if you're speaking and you're like, okay, I'm noticing right now the things that I'm saying, not great. Okay, how can I go back one and understand? Am I having the intent? Is my speech having the intent? Am I having the right action after this speech? All of these things are their own little bumper system to keep you in the right path. To say, if things are not working out for you, it's not because everyone around you is shit. It's more of, how am I interacting? How am I doing on this checklist of 8 things that's going to get me to where I want to be in the end? They're going to get me to my dharma, get me to the place that feels good. And usually what people want in the end is not the $1 million. They want the feeling that comes with the $1 million. So that for me is what dharma is about. It's, what is the feeling? What is the thing that I'm like, today is the day that I want to have every day. How do I stay in today? How do I keep myself in that space? And when I'm having a day that's like, that is not the day I want to have, I'm going to need to be mindful. I'm going to need to contemplate. I'm going to look in these steps and see, where did I go wrong? Where did I go off the rails just a little bit? Not be mad, be grateful that I can get another day to do it and fix it. And to just take it as, okay, source is telling me, my body's telling me, myself is telling me that this is not what I want. And your dharma does change over time. It's not the same. Your goal and what feels good to you, what an amazing day feels like when you're 20, isn't the same thing as what an amazing day. Like, everyone in their 20s is like frat party, doing it up. It's not the same thing, okay? Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm just like, I don't want to do that. My idea of going out with my friends is going somewhere where I can sit around a campfire and chat. That is not what that was when I was, in my 20s. It was a little different. So just being mindful that in the real life big things change too. The way that you're using the gifts, the way that you're connecting to your source, the way that you're connecting to yourself looks very different in your 20s than it does in your 50s. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, because that understanding changes. Things that I thought I understood even 5 years ago, I have a completely different understanding of now. So I'm going to think about it differently. I'm going to talk about it differently. I'm going to act differently. And so it's just this natural evolution that just happens. And so taking away that pressure to like, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? It's like, okay, today, how can I get in alignment? How can I get in a deeper understanding? How can I think about this in a better way? How can I speak more kindly to others and to myself?
Yeah.
And you know, we like, oh my gosh, we wear badges of busyness. Like, I'm so busy. I must be worth something. I've got to prove my worth by how much I do and the effort that I put in. And that's not right effort. That is, you know, that's you're trying and pushing instead of just going, okay, it feels really good to do this one thing today. Ooh, I did that. Now I'm feeling like I could probably do a couple more. Or, yep, did it. And I'm feeling really good about it. And I'm just going to call it good. So it's not like this one big end all be all goal. So let the pressure of that go away. It's more of, I always love how you talk about bumper systems. This is just a little guiding system that will naturally, like, it will unveil your purpose to you when you're ready. And it will change. It will change. Like, that is the only constant.
100% it will change. So, if any of this tickled your fancy, if anything that Jenny and I were chatting about today is something you're interested in, we actually just got done talking for a whole hour about this and more in Rising, which is our online healing group. I love talking about Rising, but I really got to work on this elevator pitch for what it is, because it's so much. It's so much. And it's really about us creating awareness at the beginning of a session. The awareness today was the Eightfold Path, and then just allowing it to unfold and allowing you to take it for what it feels good to you, allowing to take the part that feels good for you. And maybe there was one quote that wasn't even about this that felt good for you, and celebrating that. It's a community of people who really connect and who are on the path and who just want a space to talk about the weird stuff, to talk about this book that I read or this program that I watched and this deeper understanding that I have and I want you to know, or to talk about the things that maybe you are struggling with and you're not sure where to go, and maybe you just need to speak it out loud. And that's what Rising is all about. You get to hang out with us one time a week on Tuesdays for a few hours, and then we also have a video chat called Marco Polo, if you've heard about it, that is 24 hours, 7 days a week live, and either Jenny and I respond or someone else. We're very, 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 very active in there, and you get to hang out with us all the time. So yeah, plus new moon and full moon ceremonies, as well as whatever extra thing we decide to throw out into the universe. And you also get recordings from past classes that have already passed.
Whole library of goody stuff that helps you discover how, like, we talk about all of these things so many different ways. You know, meditation, how to meditate, why to meditate, what is mindfulness, how do I be more mindful, what are affirmations, how do I use affirmations. So it's really, really fun. We like to do it.
We're pretty into it.
Yeah.
If you are also interested in maybe hanging out with us for a few days, we do have a retreat in September. September is our Soul Awakening retreat, which is really Rising in 4 days. And you get to connect with all of us, and you get to connect with another group of people. This retreat is going to be happening in Lava, which, if you don't know, is in beautiful hot springs. It's like a cute little town with beautiful hot springs, and we have spaced it over a few days, so we have extra time for you to go and soak it up in the hot springs, as well as we're also doing a drum ceremony for the first time as a part of, well, not a drum ceremony. We've done drum ceremony before, but you get to actually make a drum if you, there's a little add-on cost, which is not too much, but you get to make a drum if you want with the drum ceremony, which is really, really fun.
Yes. Beautiful.
Anything else?
No, I think we talked a lot. That was good. I mean, we're going to be talking about Dharma all month long. So if you're like super into this, any of these things, if any of these things aligned with you, this is what we're going to be working on all month, is Dharma. Understanding these right ways to get in alignment with self to find your higher purpose here.
Jen says, highly recommend Rising. I love it so much and look forward to it every week. Love you all. She is amazing. We love Jen. So much. So if you type in to our website, mymindandbodycollective.com, and you put in the code rising10, you get $10 off your first month, which puts it's $90 a month. So you pay $80 for your first month.
Yep.
Whoop, whoop. Okay, friends.
Have any questions, or you want to share your thoughts on Dharma? We'd love to hear it. We do check on these comments if you're watching the replays. So if you have any questions about the retreats, the ceremonies, or anything we're doing, just comment and we'll get you squared away.
Absolutely. Okay, friends, we love you, and we will see you later.
Bye.